Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. 1. Deontay Wilder said don't be surprised if he knocks out Anthony Joshua in one round, and he wants 50-50 split. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest of boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chat, channel donations, the Venmo, and the Patreon family. We working. Now, I was looking at an interview on ESPN. Link is in the description. Shout out to ESPN. And Deontay Wilder was talking about Joshua. I want to read some quotes and then give my thoughts. He says, I don't think they're trying to make a negotiation at this point. I think they are trying to seek Joseph Parker. They got him on his agenda. He is their top priority, which is fine. If they don't want to fight me at this time, that is okay. We're not going to chase anybody. I'm not chasing Joshua. If Joshua doesn't want to fight, then that's fine. If they want to fight and have one fight apiece and fight me next, that is fine. He goes on to say the state of boxing heavyweight division, we can finally say it is back. It is exciting. It's on fire. And to make it even more lit and even more exciting is going to be the moment when me and Joshua stand in the middle of the ring. All the eyes around the world will be watching. We will stop the world in a moment in time to see once and for all who is the heavyweight champion of the world. Right? He goes on to say, it is a great fight. It is one of the biggest fights in the world, and everybody wants it. It will be 50-50 or else we don't see a fight. If they want to use splits not to make the fight happen, then so be it. It is not like I am asking for more. I'm saying this is a 50-50 fight, and that's how it is. In the rematch, then we could talk about 60-40 splits or whatever. That is more acceptable. At the end of the day, whether we fight or not, the pressure is not going to be on me. It's going to be on him, right? He also goes to talk about, he calls them AJ protectors, basically people giving Joshua a ton of credit for beating Klitschko, coming off a loss, coming off a layoff, and that was a loss to Tyson Fury. He says if AJ was to beat a champion, take a champion's belt, he would have no argument. He says, I knocked Joshua out, and don't be surprised if it's in the first round, but I definitely knocked Joshua out. Right? When it all boils to this beautiful fight happening, they're not going to care about the splits. On this night, on this day, in this moment, they're going to care about who is the best officially. At the end of the night, they will take away a brilliant fight, and they will understand who is the best in the world. They will have one champion, one named Deontay Wilder, who will be standing with his hands in the sky. So that's Wilder's comments. Again, link in the description. Now it's time for my thoughts. Now listen, I've seen people petitioning about, oh, Wilder's ducking because he's saying he wants 50-50 and Joshua has this fan base and things of that sort. Listen, things like this, I hate doing this because I'm a boxing fan. I really don't give a shit if they get Chuck E. Cheese tokens. You know what I mean? As long as they're both happy and satisfied, it is what it is. But now I got to interject my thoughts into it and talk about things that I don't really even care about, like the negotiations and the business practices and purse splits and stuff like that. Like, for me, I'm a straight up person. I'm not getting the purse split, and neither are you. You know what I'm saying? Unless you Al Heyman, Shelly Finkel, Eddie Hearn, or somebody, a sparring partner or something for one of these guys, you won't see the money. So it pains me that I have to even talk about this and argue. And some of you guys need to open up a small business. I have a small business. This YouTube, this is a brand. When I file taxes, it's a 1099. I don't have regular W-2s anymore. And the reason I say open a small business is because you have to understand the business world and how business works. And what Wilder's doing, right? What Wilder's doing is a perfectly fine and normal business tactic. Let me explain. Reason being is because you don't, negotiations are negotiations. I don't know what Eddie Hearn and Joshua are talking about, what type of split. I know in the past Eddie Hearn has basically said no to 50-50, but you always want to start the mark high, right? And if you guys can negotiate it down and get something else and through the negotiation process you arrive at a different split and both people are content with it, then so be it. But the bottom line is Wilder Joshua is a fight that needs to happen. There's money in the fight. Fans want to see the fight. So it'll be a shame if, because of a money split, they cannot get it done because of it is what it is. I heard Eddie Hearn saying like, oh, Deontay Wilder and other guys, Q-Rap Puller, we have to overpay him. Well, you know what? This is boxing. Sometimes that's what happens. Sometimes you don't, you know what I mean? You don't, what's the saying? You don't get what you're worth, you get what you negotiate. So I really have no problem with Wilder calling for the 50-50 fight. And I know a lot of fans will disagree and say, oh, this bullshit. He doesn't deserve 50-50. He's a bum and all that type of stuff. But at the end of the day, the guy you're calling a bum is still a champion, right? He's just coming off an emphatic knockout of a guy who went 12 rounds with him in their first fight. So even if you don't believe in his market value, I mean, I don't think he should, you know what I'm saying, read comments and negotiate according to that, because I've seen outlandish things in comment section where people will say Wilder deserves 10% and AJ gets 90. That is not fair. You know what I'm saying? And you could say whatever you want, but we all know this, and I've said this before. Anthony Joshua is a good fighter, and he's fortunate that he comes from a market, a demographic like the UK, right, that supports their fighters. White, black, green, whatever they are, they support it. And that's the UK. That's the UK life. I even heard Eddie Hearn saying like, oh, in the UK, I go to the arena and people are drunk and screaming when the people walk out. I mean, you see it. AJ coming out to pyrotechnics and fireworks and shit like that. It's just a different world over there. You know what I mean? But I promise you, if Andy Joshua was from Georgia or some shit and he was fighting in America, he wouldn't be getting the same love. He wouldn't be doing 80 to 90,000 seats because it's just a different place. You know what I mean? So once again, no shade to Joshua. He's fortunate for that. He's fortunate that he's a Brit and British and he comes from that. But you know what I mean? If you're going to use that to not make a fight, then to me, that's pretty pathetic, because at the end of the day, the fans shouldn't really even care about purse splits. And it's funny to me because the fans always interject how much somebody is worth when they're not risking their lives in these particular fights. You know what I mean? I remember Daniel Jacobs, he said, I'll fight Triple G, but it got to make business sense. People said he was ducking and he was avoiding Triple G. The fight still got made, but it got made when Jacobs felt comfortable, and Jacobs fought his ass off and, in my opinion, beat Triple G. You know what I mean? These fighters aren't stupid anymore. And let the fans tell it. At the time, they were saying that Jacobs was ducking Triple G because he wanted more money, more than the mandated 75-25% split. But that's what I'm saying. Like, these fighters aren't dumb. Triple G is the monster that HBO is saying he is. He's pound for pound #1 on ESPN. Shit, pay me like he's pound for pound #1. It's simple. Same thing with Wilder Joshua. You're saying he's a big star, and you know the numbers that you generate are going to increase with the better competition. Meaning you fight Klitschko, it outsold fighting Eric Molina or Dominic Brazil. And to me, the fight with Wilder is the biggest fight in boxing. So I mean, I don't really blame him for keeping the mark high, but it's just funny because people always, when it's a fighter they like, they always care about the money and deem how much the person is worth. When Floyd Mayweather clearly had better accomplishments, undefeated, better pay-per-view buys, hold the records and stuff, people still said Pacquiao deserved 50-50, right? And then they were arguing that, like, oh, Pacquiao, he's a star, you know what I mean? So you didn't want Pacquiao to get shortchanged, right? Canelo Triple G was offered a flat rate of $15 million. That's not bad. But Team Triple G held out, and they're like, nah, why should we take $15 million when this fight could set live, which it did, live gate records and do astronomical or very good numbers in Vegas, and we stuck with 15 million. You know what I mean? So they didn't want to do it, so they held out, and then they came back and negotiated. So to me, I feel like you have to just let the negotiations be. A lot of people, they hear the 50-50 and, oh, Wilder's ducking. That's not that. I mean, because if that's the case, then Triple G was ducking because he didn't want to take $15 million. He ain't never made $15 million in a single solitary fight. But obviously, it worked out because they stood their ground and got what they wanted. They got a percentage split, and the fight was made, and there's probably going to be a rematch made at some point. You know what I'm saying? So you guys have to, like I said, open a small business and understand how business works. You always set the bar high, and then, if you know what I mean, negotiate down. What if, okay, listen, like I'm gonna tell you the art of haggling and negotiating. What if Wilder came off the rip and said, I'll accept 30%? Then from that point, the only place he can go down is the only place he can go from there is go down. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to go up. Like, if you already said you'll settle for 30, they're not going to give you 40, 45. Why would they? You already said you'll take it for 30. I mean, it's just, to me, it's real simple mathematics. So he started the mark high. He feels it's a 50-50 fight. He feels like that's what he worked, and that's what his name and his belt would bring to the table. He's willing to travel. So, I mean, you got to take those things into consideration. I remember I got a job at Costco, and they said, how much are you expecting to get an hour, right? And I told them a number. I was younger, but I told them a number, not knowing if they would pay it, and they didn't pay me that. Like, I said something like $17.50 an hour or something at the time, right? They didn't give me $17.50, but they gave me something that I was still content with, and I took the job. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how negotiating really works. You know what I mean? So if you started too low, then it is what it is. I remember when I went to Mexico, they had these shirts there, camisetas, right? And they're selling these shirts. I asked them how much. I was like, I like that shirt. How much? $30. I'm like, oh, I'm not paying 30. So he was like, oh, okay, 25. And I was like, nah, that's too much. And you know what I mean? I just kept looking. I was like, no, I'm good. I'm just shopping around. It's like a little flea market thing. And then I was gonna leave. I was very content leaving. And then he kept going down and down in price. Shit, I ended up getting the shirt for like $8 in the end when he initially said 30. You know what I'm saying? So that's like reverse haggling. That's like the reverse negotiating. He set the bar high, but he was willing to take something less. So I think this could be a similar situation. I don't know. Maybe Wilder holds out for 50-50 only. I mean, to me, it's a strong stance and a strong position. Some people are going to get mad about it, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's hard for us to put a price. I just want to see the fucking fight. Hard for us to put a price on how much it's worth. You know what I mean? Oh, but he hasn't done this. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, bottom line is this. If Joshua wants to become a billionaire, he wants to become undisputed, he has to go through the man that has the belt. And right now, one of them is Deontay Wilder. And it's going to look bad for Team Joshua if I seen Joseph Parker in the news and making headlines. He was talking about, okay, at first I wanted 45%, then we went down to 40, then I'll take 35%. So, I mean, who is Joshua going to fight if the percentage splits, they're not willing to budge? And that's, sometimes you have to take those risks and those cuts to make the fight. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Mayweather-Pacquiao. Mayweather really had more accolades and higher pay-per-view sales and set records even to this day than Pacquiao. And that's a fact. If you go look at the history of live gates and stuff, Mayweather's on there more times, his name, than Pacquiao's. But you know what I mean, they had to work it out, and to make the fight, they finally made it, got past the drug testing issue and stuff, and I believe Pacquiao got 50-50, or he got a split he was content with, or whatever. So like I said, I don't even like talking about this because I know some fans are foolish idiots, and there's gonna be, oh, he's ducking. But like I said, if Joshua wants to cement his legacy, this, like Wilder saying, the pressure is gonna be on Joshua. The pressure is on Joshua. He's calling him out. So if it gets stalled out because you don't want to pay him, you know what I mean, 50-50, then it is what it is. And what Wilder's asking for, he's not asking for a bigger pot. He's asking for the same pot. You know what I mean? Or maybe they could do something like putting a certain amount in the escrow account. You know what I mean? Put 10% and then the winner gets that. I think something like that could fare. But it's all negotiation, so they're going to have to work this out to determine. But from a standpoint, a business standpoint, what Wilder's doing is not wrong. You know what I mean? You want to start the mark high, even if you don't get it. But if you start too low, then like I said, the only place you have to go is down. Me personally, I just want to see the fight. Hopefully they can get past the negotiations. I don't care what they get. Wilder can get 20%. If he's cool with that, then I'm good with it. You know what I'm saying? If Joshua gets 95% and Wilder gets 5%, you know what I mean? If Wilder gets a fucking EBT card and 200,000, if he's good with that, him and his family and shit, then it is what it is. So me, I don't really care about the split. I'm just talking about it because it's current trending news. Let me know what you guys think. Do you want to see the fight? I just hope this purse split and money and greed and politics and all that doesn't get in the way of a good fight. Let me know your thoughts. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.